Friday morning, everybody, and there's plenty to talk about today. It's a very, very big jam-packed weekend. I got Sean Miller. I got excuse me. I got Amedeus. We're all here. The gang's all here. Boys, good week. Never lost Amedeus for a minute. He'll be back. Some fun stuff this weekend, Sean. We even have a Premier League game this afternoon.
Yeah, big game for Chelsea and Fulham there. Fulham right now with a win could move up to 6th ahead of Brighton, although they've played, they will have played 3 more matches. But Chelsea, I think Chelsea needs this game today. Languishing in 10th place. All these players coming in, we'll see. I don't know if any of these players are going to play. I expect Mudryk maybe to play, but
I saw Fernandez is supposed to play. Some lineups have Fernandez in, and some don't. So,
they're just it's a mishmash. I don't know where he's going to play. Who's playing at 10? Who's playing 9? Havertz, I guess. But look, this. Once again. I don't think this Chelsea team does much until they figure out who's scoring goals for them. Was it Aubameyang? I just, Fulham's Chelsea's a heavy favorite today, minus 150, and I don't know. Fulham plus 450 looks decent to me, but.
Now, next week, this time, you'll be reporting from, right?
Yeah, I'll be.
In Spain?
This time, I'll be too. I'll be getting ready to go to see my guy Alex Costin speak at the convention. Yeah, who knows if I'll have any sleep or not. But I try to sleep on the plane, but
not always as easy as
crazy. Yeah.
There you go. All right. What's going on this weekend? We have a ton of stuff going on weekend-wise on the calendar.
You got. I know there's some big basketball games. Duke, North Carolina, St. Mary's, Gonzaga. There's some interesting Premier League games tomorrow. Or Everton hosts Arsenal. We'll see. Dice ball. We'll see. I think that's a tough game for Arsenal here. I just the Everton. I know they stink and their roster stinks, but they're going to be set up a different way in that match, and we'll see if Arsenal can break them down. Aston Villa, Leicester City, Midlands battle, Brentford, Southampton. Southampton just played. Brentford is hasn't played in 2 weeks. They're going to be rested. Brighton and Bournemouth, South Coast battle. Those teams don't really like each other too much. United plays Crystal Palace again. They just played them. Wolves play Liverpool again. This is the 3rd time they've played Liverpool in about 3 weeks. And Newcastle plays West Ham in the 12:30 game. There's also 2 club. The big game tomorrow. Really, for this hemisphere is you got Wydad, Casablanca, and Al Hilal. The winner plays Flamengo. Who won Copa Libertadores? Flamengo, right?
Yeah.
Flamengo, and then Seattle Sounders play Al Ahly. So. Seattle, if they beat Al Ahly here, they have a chance to play Real Madrid, which is, in a real game. So, I know they sometimes come over here in the summer. But, that's a massive game. So, Seattle could play. I think that's pretty big. So, we see you got the Bundesliga. You got Liga and PSG. They stink all of a sudden, and Mbappe's hurt.
He's gonna miss that Bayern match. That was a big
injury.
Is he
be out for that?
Yeah.
How long is he out for?
How about Messi?
3 weeks.
Oh my god.
Can Messi play, or is he gonna play?
Yeah. I think Messi was playing in their match on Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
and Mbappe had to leave like 20 minutes in. He got injured. I didn't see the injury. I was out at the mall, but I was kind of
His knee and his leg. Yeah.
watching it on my phone, trying to as I was walking through. But yeah, it was an interesting one because that was what I saw afterwards when they evaluated the injury. It was that he was going to be out 3 weeks and he was going to miss the first leg against Bayern Munich. So that's big because that's their home leg. So that's the one they really need to get out with a lead there.
I guess he plays Toulouse tomorrow.
Yeah. You know, I mean, they're you know, all of a sudden Marseille now and is take past Lens. Marseille is red hot here.
Told you, man. Marseille, they're gonna climb the table.
Yeah, I wasn't. You know, the Lens team, I think is gonna come back down to earth a little bit. Yeah, they had a really good first half of the season, but you know, it's still Lens. You know, Marseille is a pretty solid team, and they just like every game. I mean, and they drew 1-1 with Marseille, with Monaco, on the 28th, but came back and beat Nantes 2-0. But since the restart, they've been really good. I mean, they've only lost the one game there, or they've only dropped 2 points with the draw. I mean, they've been very good. So they're actually playing well. And they're up into the Champions League spot now, 1 point ahead of Lens. So now all of a sudden you kind of have to see. And they play PSG in the Coupe de France on the 8th next week, which is a huge match. I mean, PSG at that point, I mean, they're probably going to be. I don't even know if they'll put some players out there at that point. And they play PSG at home in the league on the 26th. So you know, it's a big week, big month. They play. You know, they have Nice, Clermont Foot, Toulouse, PSG this month. And then Rennes, Strasbourg, Reims, Montpellier. They have a pretty decent schedule here. So look, if they beat PSG in those matches to knock them out of the cup and then beat them in the league, who knows?
Remember,
title race.
This is a Marseille team that got kicked out of Champions League. Literally finished 4th in their group. So they got left with the short end of the stick. They're not in any European competition right now, and they're just looking to focus on the league title pretty much.
Got some good players, you know. Payet. I like Guendouzi. I think he's a
Sanchez.
Yeah.
I like the team because it's got a lot of players from the Arsenal team I really liked years ago, back when Alexis Sanchez was on that team.
Yeah, Guendouzi, Payet's on the team. You know, they got, you know, yeah, look, they have a pretty decent squad. So that'll be interesting to watch how they kind of
yeah, that guy Cengiz Under is pretty good too. Turkish guy.
Yep. They got a good team. I think that'll be interesting to watch how they Nuno Tavares.
And especially with nothing else to focus on, you know that week after week they're just going to come for that 3 points.
That's not a bad.
Yep.
You'll have one area to focus on. That does make it easier.
And, you know, theoretically, they could catch PSG because, you know, now PSG is dealing with, obviously, the Mbappe injury. So if they find a way, though, to squeak by Bayern Munich still, you know, the deeper they go into this Champions League competition and, you know, pick up more injuries or just end up, you know, even if they stay the way they are as healthy, you know, they're not going to be as deep towards the end of the season. And if Marseille can cut the gap enough by the time they're in the deeper rounds of Champions League, you're going to get PSG, you know, pulling away focus from Ligue 1. So it'd be interesting down the stretch.
You got the attrition, right? I mean, you can only play so much at that level. And if you're playing in Champions League and then coming back and trying to defend your title, it's going to be tough.
Same thing with Spain, right? Like right now, Barcelona has a 5-point lead and they're a huge favorite to win the league. But, you know, you got 19 matches left still.
Right.
And anything could happen. Now, obviously, I think Real Madrid needs to cut the lead down earlier,
Mhm.
like sooner rather than later, because the later they go, they're going to have more matches if they go deeper into Champions League.
Right.
Whereas
The mountain.
Barcelona's stuck in Europa League now, and they don't. I like. As Sean thinks they'll probably go all the way and win it because they have the best team, but
Yeah.
at the same time, do they give a crap about it? Right? Like I don't know if they put as much focus into Europa League as
I think that first leg is interesting in that because I Manchester United is let me just pull up this Manchester United schedule for you. It's because it's ridiculous at this point. They play Palace tomorrow. They play Leeds on Wednesday and Sunday. They play them twice in 4 days, which is absolutely ridiculous. They have Barcelona on Thursday, Leicester City on Sunday, Barcelona on Thursday the 23rd, the League Cup final on February the 26th, West Ham in the FA Cup on March 1st, Liverpool on March 5th, Southampton March 11th, Brighton March 19th. Now, if they beat Barcelona, there's going to be Europa League tie in there, round of 16 tie between I think it's like the 6th and the 13th or whatever. So if they go to Barcelona and get beat 5-0 or 4-0, whatever, I think that second leg, they put out the kids and they go for it in the EFL Cup final. I think if they go to Barcelona and they beat them 3-0 or 2-0 or something like that, they come home, maybe they try to close out the tie. I think the worst result for both teams will be like a 1-1 in the first leg. Like I'd rather the tie be over either way, or like at least you're going through, or like you got a really good chance to go through, or you got a really good chance to go out. Like one way or the other, either go for it or don't. Like the worst thing would be like it's 0-0 or like a 1-1 in Barcelona for me, and for both teams. But I think Barcelona knows like they have bigger fish to fry. Manchester United's got a cup final. I think bigger fish to fry. They got to, they want to finish top 4. But Europa League would be good if whoever gets through that tie, as long as they're not playing Arsenal in the next leg, probably the favorites to win it. Arsenal maybe too, but you're one of the top 2. Like if whoever gets through is probably going to go to a final, or they'll play Arsenal and the winner of that will go win the title. So it's just, there's so many games. They got to, Manchester United has to go and, they got to beat Palace. They got to beat Leeds twice. If they do that and then go to Barcelona and play all right, it's thing. I'd rather win the EFL Cup final at this point. I think you got to focus on that in top 4, and then maybe the trophy. But Barcelona, if they're playing on Thursdays and Sundays, that might mess up their title run there.
Yeah. It's the physicality of it all, and mentally, how do you get yourself excited for games? In the middle of the week. So
I think they'll be up. You're playing Manchester United, but like,
yeah, but that's
but then the winner goes through, and all of a sudden you're playing Freiburg. Who cares? Like it's when you're playing Freiburg, and Freiburg's not even like a great example. I don't even know the. Let me see who's in this round of 16 here. Say you're playing. I don't even know, man.
Borussia Dortmund.
It's not a good team in this.
Yeah, I mean, you got Arsenal. Say you're playing Fenerbahce, or you're playing. Half the teams are Spanish, so they can't even play them. Say you're playing Ferencváros or something like this, or you go through and you play in Midtjylland or something like Midtjylland, and then we got to play Real Madrid. like you're not putting your players out there. And it's the same thing for like Manchester United. I mean, they got, if they get through Barcelona and they rearrange Brentford match now because of the EFL Cup final, which is fine. Then they're gonna, the longer they go in the FA Cup, if they beat West Ham, there's going to be other more matches rearranged. So now you got Liverpool away, Midtjylland or Betis, Southampton at home, Betis, and then Brighton away, and then Newcastle away. I mean, it's tough, man. That's why you need to have a big squad here. And United actually doesn't. They had a big squad, but now they're having some injuries. So it's starting to. Christian Eriksen is a big loss, but they're starting to get some players back. So but you can't complain, man. When you're big club, you got to be used to playing all these extra games. It's just like right now you got one hand tied behind your back. Chelsea's going out and buying all these players, and we're getting people on loan. So it's this. The sale can't come soon enough, and just get these reinforcements in. But you got to get through the next 2 months, 3 months.
Big news today, as I'm looking through on the goal, is that Manchester United is delighted to have Marcel Sabitzer around. Are you delighted, Sean?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's a different kind of player. Eriksen is he's second in the league in assists, but when you watch he's very good attacking player, but he's a little bit of a traffic cone, defensively. So, Sabitzer, I think, is a little bit different. You put him next to Casemiro, he's a little more, play a little more defense. So it should help them, shore that up. And, he hadn't been playing a lot. He's made a lot of appearances for Bayern Munich. I believe when you look at his, the first thing everybody looks, when you type in Marcel Sabitzer, the first thing that comes up is Marcel Sabitzer's wife, because his wife is like some giant model from somewhere. But he's played 15 matches. He's come off the bench. He hasn't played a lot of minutes, so he's going to want to play right away. I mean, he's a good player for plays for Austria and stuff. But he was very good for was he Leipzig or Salzburg? I forget which one he was.
I think it was Salzburg.
One of the Red Bulls.
One of the Red Bulls.
Yeah, probably Salzburg because it's an Austrian club.
Yeah, let's see. But he has played some he's played in a lot of games. He hasn't played a lot of minutes. He's played 624 minutes of Bundesliga action. So, what is that? 90. So basically 7 full games. So he's fresh. He's played of late. Really, he hasn't played. He was on the bench. He played 1 minute against Eintracht Frankfurt. So since the break, he went to the World Cup. He played right before the World Cup. He played 12 minutes, 33 minutes, 18 minutes. So he's going to want to come out there and play. I mean, these guys want to play games. I mean, he played a lot. I will say this, he played a lot of minutes in the Champions League. He played 61 minutes against Inter. He played a half against Barcelona. He played a half both times against Barcelona. He played the full 90 minutes against Inter. So, he's good enough to play, basically, 2 games against Inter and 2 halves against Barcelona. So, they trusted him in those. So that tells me he's a pretty good player. I know he's a good player. He played 90 minutes in the Super Cup against Leipzig. So he's going to come in and play a lot of minutes. They need him to be honest. I mean, Eriksen's probably not back. They're saying maybe April. So I think sometimes they just say that to, oh, your delivery is going to be 1 hour. And then when it gets there in a half hour, you're like, oh man, that was quick or whatever. So maybe, maybe he's back in March or something like this. Maybe he's back after the international break, which would be great, that first week of April. So, they need him to play here for 6 weeks and get to this international break. But, they got Scott McTominay coming back. So they do have some depth coming in. So he's a good player. And, in a position we need. We got, Diego Dalot coming back. It's going to be – it looks like they're going to start maybe putting Lindelof in defensive midfield if they have to. I know Lisandro Martinez has played there for Ajax. They have 2 left backs at this point. They got a bunch of center backs. That's where they are healthy. Martial's back. I mean, they are getting some players back. People are doom and gloom all the time on Twitter. But, look, once again, you can't cry about playing extra games at this point. That means we're in finals and in knockout ties. We're the only English team that's alive in all 4 competitions right now. They're in the FA Cup 5th round. They're in the EFL Cup final. They're playing in the Europa League knockout stages, and they're in the top 4. So, when it was real bad the last few years, people were complaining about this stuff, and now they're complaining because they're playing too many games. That's just how English people are. They just want to complain. It's crazy.
It's nuts. Yesterday, guys, I don't know if you saw it, you might have, and that is that the Forbes came out with the value of the MLS team. For the first time, LAFC was the first team to crack the $1 billion mark. Number 1, LA Galaxy, their neighbors, at $925 million. Atlanta United FC, $850 million. New York City FC, $800 million. DC United, $700 million. Austin FC, $680. The Sounders at $660. Portland at $650, and Charlotte, rounding out the top 10, at $625. So,
I think a lot of that is based on the future streaming revenue and the things like this. I mean, look, every sign on the road points to the fact that the soccer in 10 years in America is going to be, and even Canada with the success of the World Cup team this year and the World Cup coming in 2026. I mean, it's all, you can see where it's going. Baseball is, the demographic of baseball. I mean, you see the demographic when you go to those Trenton Thunder games. I mean, it's it's an aging demographic. I think soccer is a lot of younger people, hipsters as it is, or whatever. You go to the pubs in Philly, it's a lot of the younger kids, a lot of the hipsters. And every kid in America plays soccer. Every single kid plays soccer. It's just blown up. Youth soccer has just absolutely blown up. I think in 15 years from now, the 2 sports with the biggest growth and the 2 pro sports with the biggest growth, I think, will be soccer and lacrosse. Lacrosse is same thing. When you used to go and see, base in Mercer County Park, they have, the U.S. Olympic rowing is there. It's an elite park. The U.S. Olympic rowing, they have the tennis center there where they have U.S. Open qualifiers. They have an outdoor skating rink. They have, there's all kinds of stuff there. They have all fields everywhere. In the fall and the spring, there's even like cricket pitches and stuff. You used to see baseball, softball thing. Now all you see soccer and lacrosse. Every weekend, in the summer, in the weekend, every single weekend, there's a soccer tournament or a lacrosse tournament. There used to be all softball. And there's a couple baseball fields and softball and stuff like that. but it's all soccer and it's all lacrosse. So I think those two are going to both. But I think these values of these MLS teams, I think people are starting to like figure out like it's getting big now.
Well, the other thing that these 10 teams all share is they have soccer-only stadiums.
Yes.
So, when you go in, it's not like you're going into a massive 70,000 seat football stadium and playing a game there. You're going into a stadium that was built for your team and is very soccer friendly when it comes to sidelines. So there's not a bad seat in those houses. And, they all have major sponsorship rules as well. And to your point, numbers came out this morning that said Amazon, the numbers on Amazon for their Thursday Night Football had the highest growth in demographics of 18 to 34, which is that's the gold standard. That's where you want to get your advertising. And they killed it. They crushed it. And they got 11 million, averaged 11 million people on their Thursday Night Football game, which is only 2 million less than linear last year when it was Fox and Amazon.
I think
if you're looking at the demo now on streaming for the demo average was 47. That's 10 years younger. 10 years younger than.
Yeah, I know the overall numbers were way down, like 41%. But that they once again they're like, oh, the numbers are down. But when you look further at the numbers, the numbers in the, like you said,
But
11% in the 18 to 34. It's
Yeah.
up this. I mean, those are the ones.
But here's the other thing, okay? I can take a ratings book and find something that is good for, whatever station or network I'm looking for. But here's the thing that's important to note. It's an 11-year deal. All right, so this is year one. The NFL was so happy with it, they gave them a Friday night game because they take one away, Thanksgiving goes to NBC. So they're giving them a Black Friday game because they're so excited that the numbers are so good. And if you were to take that Thursday night game that, they had won the night on overall linear and cable. So the numbers they got streaming were good enough to rate as the highest rated show on Thursday night, but people are still saying, well, where are they going to find it? Well, where are you going to find it?
Yeah, you can't compare it to 1987 numbers. Like, it's just not that old. Like, it's just not like, I mean, people in 1987, we used to have that box where you hooked it up and had pay-per-view, like
Prism.
The cable guy would wink when he's coming to your house. Oh man, you got all the pay-per-view fights. And everybody was amazed. And you're like, whoa. And but I didn't even think 5 years ago, we used to go to Daisy's Pub and watch the UFC fights because someone had a Fire Stick or something like this. And it's just who cares? Everybody's got that now. What do you think about Fulham upset today? Bill, look, Amedeus, what do you think about that game?
I don't know. It's a tough one for me because Fulham beat them just a few weeks ago, 2-1 at home. But if you watch that match, I mean, Joao Felix looked good in the lineup. Obviously, he's still suspended today, but it almost seems like the signings they made might help them start to score goals a bit. They were very aggressive in that match, and I think at home they'll probably be a little more aggressive here. So I really, honestly, I don't know. I kind of think Chelsea's going to win, but I'm not laying minus 175 with them. So
I think there's going to be some goals in that game. Bill, first, did you the other day, did you take Barcelona and Manchester United, that parlay? I know you liked the over in that game. So, if you took all those, they hit. So good call there. I look, I mean, Fulham's at plus 500. And they just beat them. Bill, I wouldn't throw a lot of money on it, but I think they're a pretty good team. I mean, obviously, clearly they've been better than them in the first half. They just beat them as well. Fulham or draw is plus 138. I think that's pretty interesting. Fulham plus 1 is minus 115. So, I don't know if Chelsea's going to go out and beat them 3-0. 2-0, but I just saw sometimes I like going on Bet River sometimes because when they show let me show you this. Sometimes just give you a little thing. Sometimes Bet Rivers will have these things where it'll be like Kai Havertz has been they give you these tips. Kai Havertz has been the first goal scorer in each of his last 3 appearances in EPL matches with Chelsea as a home favorite. So it's like a weird stat. 0-0 has been the correct scoreline of 4 of Chelsea's last 5 home matches. That's interesting to me. Under 2.5 goals has hit in each of Chelsea's last 6 home matches against Fulham. I think the last 3 have been 2-0. Chelsea's won 7 of its last 8 EPL matches against Fulham. Both teams to score, no. And it's 2-0. Each of the last 3 home matches against Fulham have been 2-0. So, nice. Bill, good job. Yeah, I like that. I sweating a little bit, but then they brought the reinforcements in. I just didn't think Nottingham Forest, you could have played for 3 days in that tie, and I don't think they were going to score. They just don't match up well against Manchester. They're just a team that doesn't match up well. It's 3-0, 3-0, and 2-0 so far. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple ways you could bet this. I'm not interested in betting Chelsea at minus 167 at all. I think Fulham and draw at plus 140 is a pretty good play. Fulham at plus 1. On the Asian handicap is a pretty good play because even if Fulham loses by a goal, you push. So, it's not bad. I think Mitrovic, just like who's going to score for – look at these goal scorers. Like they don't even have Aubameyang to score. Maybe he's not playing. Who's going to score? This guy didn't score in – he's not a goal scorer. He didn't score in, Ukraine. He's not going to come here and score. I thought Colin Gallagher left on loan. Kai Havertz plus 175. I just don't know who's going to score for this team. They got these guys. Like, who's going to score their goals? Here, when you look at this, who's going to score for Fulham? Well, here's a big red circle should be right here. I mean, Mitrovic the scores at plus 215. I just.
What about Willian? He scored on his old club last time.
Yeah, Willian. Barcelona, both teams scored an over. I hit as well. Yeah, I know you like that. That was a good call, Bill. I just if both teams start their players, I just don't know. I know where the goal from Fulham's going to come from. Like if Fulham wins the game 2-1, I know Mitrovic is going to have one of the goals. If Chelsea's going to win the game 1-0, like I don't know, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz. For as many players as they signed, I just don't, I don't know where that goal's coming from. Bill, I looked at that game. I don't know if you looked at this today, Amedeus. Bill Ball is minus 275 against Cadiz. And, I actually think the Cadiz team has been playing better. I mean, they tied Elche 1-1. They beat Valencia. They tied Almeria. Every game they've come back, they've gotten a point except for against Sevilla on the 21st. They beat Mallorca last time out. They've since the break, they've picked up 8 points. I don't know. Like, do you? Bill wants to know if you like. Do you like Atletico Bilbao -1.5 here, or would you rather go the other way and take Cadiz at +1.5?
Yeah, so I don't like Athletic Bilbao here, and the reason is, as you said, Cadiz has been playing a lot better lately, and I think the key for them has been their defense. Their defense is not giving up many goals, and if you notice with Athletic Bilbao, the problem is their attack. They're not scoring goals right now. They've gone scoreless in a lot of their recent league matches, and they're actually doing the opposite. They were very hot going into the break, and they've come out very, very flat. So, this is a team, I don't trust them to win by 2 goals. And if you actually look at the line here, I think the line is kind of absolutely ridiculous. So they're a -250 favorite, which means that the books are expecting them to win by at least 2 goals. But the under 2.5 is also favored at -125. So basically, the books tell me this is going to be a 2-0 game exactly for Athletic Bilbao. But like I said, I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Here are their La Liga games since the break. 0-0 against Betis. 0-0 at home against Osasuna. 3-1 on the road against Sociedad. They lost. 2-0 at home against Real Madrid. They lost.
So
and
1 goal in 4 matches, right there.
1-0 they lost to Bilbao on the road. Now, between that, they beat Valencia 3-1 in the Copa del Rey. They beat Espanyol 1-0 in the Copa del Rey, and they beat Club Deportivo Eldense 6-1 in the Copa del Rey, and Sestao they beat 1-0 in the Copa del Rey. So now they're making a run in the Copa del Rey. I think they're into the semifinals at this point.
But 2 of those teams don't even play in La Liga.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Unless is Espanyol still in La Liga? I actually don't even remember now.
So Espanyol is.
I guess they are still in La Liga.
They're 15th.
I had them as a right now, team. They might be in the second league.
They're actually, you got Real Madrid, Barcelona in the. Man, I may have to extend my trip to Europe to go to the Classico there. You got. Listen, look at these dates, by the way. You got Real Madrid, Barcelona on March 2nd. And then you got Osasuna, Atletico Bilbao plays on April 4th. Atletico Bilbao and Osasuna play on April 5th. That can't be right. And then Barcelona plays April 5th against Real Madrid. So you got the Classico semifinals. They always do that. Like, they couldn't just have a final. And then because they had to play 2. So Bilbao's going to probably be in the final of that. But, they haven't been playing great in the league. So I don't know. I would probably take Cadiz at minus. I'll be honest. I might take a chance on Cadiz and draw plus 200. I might put a couple bucks on Cadiz at plus 800.
I'm telling you, you're looking at like a 0-0, 1-1, something stupid like that.
Under 2.5 there, minus 134 looks pretty decent, but maybe I may have to. How about Niger at plus 10?
Bill, enough with the African nations. Like, honestly, man.
What?
Wait till March when there are actually some players playing on these teams, man. I watched, what's funny is I watched Senegal and Madagascar the other day, and like I couldn't recognize anybody that was playing for Senegal. It was all just like the kids. They literally looked like kids on the field.
What's the line? What is the Bill? What's the line on that? Oh, plus 190. Okay. They look good against Ghana. Hey, Bill, I didn't watch the match. If you watched it, I would say if you think, take a chance. I mean,
Who are they playing?
Madagascar. They probably win that game.
Did Madagascar end up beating Senegal? I
No,
watched.
this is the third place
No.
game.
Okay, because I was going to say I remember Senegal scored like in the first 10 minutes of that.
Algeria beat Niger 5-0 last time out. Bill, that's the only thing. You know,
Oh, actually, I was going to say I would probably take Algeria to beat Senegal in that final.
Senegal beat Madagascar. Senegal only beat Madagascar 1-0.
That was an early goal. Very
Yeah,
early
so
goal.
I don't know. That's a tough game, Bill. I don't know. Let me see.
Actually, when I was watching the Senegal Madagascar game, the commentator was mentioning how if Senegal went on to win and had to face Algeria in the final, Algeria has like whooped them over the last decade. Like Senegal just can't beat Algeria. Apparently, I haven't looked into it myself, but maybe Algeria. I don't know what the line is. I haven't even looked at that match, but Algeria might be the way to go against Senegal. Like I said, I don't know who's playing, but I know Senegal had like 19-year-olds out on the field, so can't be that great teams.
They got in trouble for child labor.
I mean, I don't know about. I don't know what I can't see the odds, so I don't know what Madagascar is, but Madagascar is pretty competitive against Senegal. Niger was not against Algeria.
Well, if Niger's plus 190, I would think Madagascar is probably like plus 130 or something. You would think if the line is correct.
Yeah, I don't even see that on my. I have to see if I have that on my other book.
They have it under rest of world for me. There's not even
rest of world. Let me see.
Yeah, there's not even like an Africa tab. They have like every continent but Africa and Antarctica.
I just have the leagues. Like I don't see the tournaments. International. Here we go. Euro, FIFA, nothing. I don't even have it.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, okay. So Madagascar is plus 160. Niger is
there. I would probably go Madagascar. Just looking at results, but I haven't watched the games, Bill. So like I don't want to tell you anything.
I think Niger's at home though.
I always say if you're watching the games and you see how they're playing, I can't really tell you anything because I haven't watched a minute of the tournament, to be honest. I know, like, for me, those games are always on at goofy times for me. I'm always kind of doing something at those times. So,
never mind.
It's if you think they played well against Ghana and you watch them play, I mean, take a chance at plus 190. I wouldn't bet a lot on it, but
neutral site game. So, but you know who has home advantage tomorrow?
Algeria, right?
Algeria, because it's all being played in Algeria, even the Niger, Madagascar. So Algeria is a minus 125. They got the home advantage. I watched Senegal play Madagascar. I didn't think they were that great. Bunch of 19-year-olds running around on the pitch.
I mean, they just destroyed Niger. I mean, it was 4-0 at halftime. I mean, they absolutely destroyed them. So,
like I said, I heard the stat where Algeria always beats Senegal. Now, like I said, I haven't looked into it myself, but that was what the commentator said. Apparently, it would be very bad if Senegal went on to win. Haven't had much success against Algeria in the past. I'm going to try and find that. Hold on.
Algeria won all 3 group games 1-0.
So Algeria
got to and then in the semifinals just absolutely annihilated Niger.
Yeah, so Algeria's won 4 of the last 5 against Senegal. And the last time Senegal beat them was 1-0 at home in 2008.
Now, let me take a look, Bill, at that. I do have that, the Belgian League, Pro League. Oostende and Anderlecht. Anderlecht minus 104 today. I would say that's probably.
Anderlecht always gets a red card on the road if they're on the road. I've always watched this team, and like in the first 15 minutes, they try to fix the match.
They are, when you look at the table here, Anderlecht is well down the table in 11th.
because they keep getting red cards on the road.
Oostend is
Not any better.
you know what? They're not terrible at home. Anderlecht's not bad on the road though. They've scored 13 goals in 11 games.
I'm telling you, if you take Anderlecht on the road, you're gonna get a red card in the first 10 minutes, and you're gonna be sitting there pulling your hair out.
They haven't played well. They lost to Zulte Waregem 3-2 at home. They drew with Bruges. They lost at Union Saint-Gilloise. They beat Sporting Charlotte. They've only have one. They have 2 1-0 wins since the restart, and that's it. So they're not really playing well. I would just say, Bill, I maybe play. Just because Oostend stinks. 2-2.
It says draw written all over it.
Draw, you think?
I think it's got draw written all over
Nothing
it.
drawers.
Maybe like a 1-1 draw. I think maybe 2-1 Oostend. I would take Oostend plus the half here. That's the way I would go with it. But I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Belgian league lately. I watched the Genk UPenn match the other day. That was disappointing. I thought I was going to cash my over. There was 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, and then there wasn't a single goal for the rest of the match, and we had a disallowed goal.
Oostend's been terrible, by the way. They only got 1 point since the restart, and that was at Kotrick last time out, and Kotrick is just ahead of them. They've given up 51 goals. Jeez.
Maybe an over. Yeah, but I don't know if Anderlecht.
Well, I think that's you know what? Might be a decent Anderlecht. I don't know.
The thing is, like, Oostend's been bad, but they've scored in 4 of their last 5 matches.
Yeah, maybe an over, Bill. Maybe 2-1. Let me see what that is. $2-1 Anderlecht plus 750.
Yeah, I mean, you can't lose at home to Serang.
Yeah. Bill, I think not terrible. It's not a great card today. I'll be honest. I was talking to Joe Wiz about it. I mean, even the championship game, West Brom and Coventry stinks. That Bilbao Cadiz game is not good.
Even the Premier League games sucks.
Not good. There's just not a lot of like. Sometimes they put decent games on Fridays. That's not it today.
La Liga never does. They always put like the trash barrel on Friday and Monday.
Yeah, I know. It's Fridays and Mondays. It's always the games.
And I don't understand because it's the only game that night. You'd think that you would want a decent match or exactly.
I think something about like maybe they.
Is Friday the party night in Spain?
I think Friday people just go out maybe or something like that.
Is that how Spain is? Everybody's out till 3 a.m. on Friday nights, so it's like no one's gonna watch the game anyway. Throw Almeria. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, then Monday night there's no excuse though. Nobody's going out to the club on a Monday night in Spain, unless
true.
like literally people don't work over there.
That's right.
Well, they take their time. They enjoy it.
So I don't know. Like you'd think the Monday game would at least be decent, right? Like you could get an audience for that. I think no one's gonna say let's go to the club on a Monday. Maybe on a Tuesday, but not on a Monday.
Yeah. Sean, you mentioned about college basketball this weekend. There's a triple header on ESPN, which is amazing. You got Purdue and Indiana playing each other. Now, the last time that Purdue and Indiana were playing, and one of them was ranked number 1, Bobby Knight and Gene Cady were coaching. So it's been a minute since that's happened. You got your Duke North Carolina game after that, and then you cap the night off with Gonzaga St. Mary's. So that's a pretty good trifecta of college basketball if you're a fan tomorrow, starting at 4:00. And it's an all ESPN lineup for that. So pretty good college basketball day tomorrow. Just to follow you watching those 3 games. Meanwhile, I know that Amedeus and I will be watching golf because it's the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. And yesterday, what do we got? I was just looking real quick. The leaderboard is, you've got 3 guys who no one's ever heard of. But the tournament's played on 3 courses, which is, the Peninsula course, the Spyglass course, and Pebble. The 3 leaders all played the Peninsula course, which played 3 strokes easier than the other 2 courses. So we'll see. Tomorrow, they change over. So at the end of the day, everybody plays one of the 3 courses. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's going to be some fun stuff. See if the cream can rise to the top, or if playing on a course that gives you 2 strokes or 3 strokes better than the others is something you can live with.
Did you see what Tom Brady did to Josh Allen?
Yeah, that was funny.
Yo, Sean, he went up to he had like the Super Bowl trophy printed on his golf ball, and so he goes up to the guy filming him, and he shows it like right in the camera with the logo on the ball, and he goes go show Josh this, and then so Josh Allen walks over because he heard his name, and he's like, what are you saying, Brady? And Brady puts like the ball right in his face. He goes, you see that? Do you know what that is? Josh is like, yeah, I think I know what that is, right? Brady's like, yeah. You ever seen one of those? And it's just like shoving the Super Bowl
hold it. Talking about Brady, Michelle Sabin, who followed the Bucs for the past 3 years for us at Sports Talk Florida, sent me a text the other day. The Cam Brate, when the infamous boat parade came and Brady threw the Lombardi Trophy, it was Cam Brate that caught the Lombardi Trophy and kept it from sinking to the bottom of the bay. Ironically, it was Cam Brate who caught Brady's last pass as a professional quarterback this season. So he catches the Super Bowl trophy to keep it out of the water. He catches the final pass of Tom Brady's career.
That explains it right there. You'll ask Brady, oh, how irresponsible. How could you throw the trophy like that? And Brady will just tell you, I threw it to Brate. He's the tight end. They don't drop things.
That's right. Never. Although he didn't throw it to Gronk because I think Gronk had been grievously overserved by an apprentice bartender.
Gronk has caught too many trophies from Tom over the years in the New England Bay. He didn't need to catch this one.
Let Cameron catch it. So, yeah, there's that. One other interesting thing. It's a gimmick, but it's interesting. And that is tomorrow night is going to be the opening of NASCAR with the Clash. And normally that used to be run at Daytona. But somebody, and I don't know who it is because I like to give him credit, came up with the idea of why don't we run it inside a stadium and make it a short track race. And they did, and it's at the Los Angeles Coliseum. The ratings were through the roof on it, and they're going to do it again tomorrow night. So be interesting to see how that plays out.
Was it like an open roof stadium, I would hope?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's a Coliseum.
I was going to say, you're just asking for carbon monoxide.
Well, they do those monster truck things. You have to,
That's true.
You have to wear a gas mask.
Let's shove everybody in the Superdome.
Right.
All right. And then we'll do 500 lap race.
Right.
Everybody will be passed out and dead by the time we even get to halfway through.
They'll all be cherry red. That's disgusting. Okay, sorry. My apologies. Yeah, that's one of those. It's a gimmick that actually comes off pretty cool. Doesn't always work that way, but in this case it does. So,
did you guys see the dodgeball game last night?
I saw highlights.
I didn't watch it. I was
out. The fact that I'm actually saying I saw highlights of it makes me even feel a little.
I know, right? Eli Manning and Peyton Manning running the movie Dodgeball over here. Patches O'Houlihan on the sideline telling him what to do.
Is there anything those guys don't do? I mean,
I don't know.
Every
And then
time I turn on television, they're there. I swear to God, I expect to go to my microwave, open it up, and see Peyton and Eli.
Oh, I know they do everything. And then at the Milwaukee Bucks game, I don't know if it was last night, but I saw they had like a competitive Simon Says competition on the hard court.
You're kidding.
Yeah, with a guy named like Sam Max or something like that. And this guy was like an auctioneer the way he was doing it. He was going so fast. He was like, all right, Simon Says, put your hands up, put your hands down. All right, you're all out of here. All right, Simon Says, put your hands on your head. Now everybody take a step forward and keep walking because you're all out.
Oh, man.
Like, it was ridiculous. I didn't even know competitive Simon Says was a thing, but apparently.
Now we know.
Apparently, that's your next Olympic sport. Get ready. Sean, start training for it.
I thought that there have actually been there's been conversation about having flag football be an Olympic sport. So there you go. You know, who knows? Since the X Games, anything is possible to be an Olympic sport. You know, look at Shaun White. I mean, you know, here's a guy who was a skateboarder, then he became a snowboarder, then became an Olympic athlete after the X Games. So. You know, I would not put competitive Simon Says out of the competition for an Olympic sport yet. So you're practicing your calls on this Amedeus, or you're practicing to be a Simon Says winner?
No, it'd be the winner. It'd be the winner. I am not going to be the auctioneer guy.
No, not that guy.
Rattling it off.
Yeah. We got any more questions from Bill or Foxy or anybody in the comments section over here? We got a ton of comments. Anybody going once, going twice?
I think we addressed it all.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, boys and girls. Have a wonderful weekend. We got all kinds of, as we said before. You got soccer. You got NASCAR. You got golf. You got the hockey all-star game and the skills competition tonight. So you got pretty much a little bit of everything, except for professional football. And that comes next week. So we'll see that. All right, boys. Well, any final thoughts from the class here?
Nope.
Going once, going twice. All right. Well, we will see you come Monday. So join us, and everybody have a safe and enjoyable and warm weekend, because it's going to be cold here on the East Coast. But, you know, it is winter, so they tell me. All right, gang. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.